can't stop my shine. I'm loving Cloud City, my head's in the sky. I'm solo, I'm climbing solo. I'm climbing solo, I'm climbing solo. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Golden Dice Podcast, episode number 3. It has been a while since we podcasted. There wasn't enough total information to have a full podcast, we feel like, and also our schedules were all a little crazy. But we're coming off the heels of GenCon. None of us were able to be there. Several of us had prior obligations or just, weren't able to make it. But we got a lot of information. But let's just catch up over the last month and a half. Scott, what have you been up to?
Oh man, I've been tore my meniscus. Apparently have Lyme's disease. What the hell? I never saw a tick. I don't even know. But otherwise, just painting up Shatterpoint stuff, painting up some 40K stuff. Just the usual. Just lots of yellow Space Marines. So many yellow Space Marines.
Painting and painting and painting. Brian, what about you?
I got new glasses.
Nice.
Lit. And a new headset, all right?
And a new headset. Yeah.
Nice,
this is wireless.
nice.
I've got the,
They're the Cloud X, right?
Yeah, these are really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. Really nice.
Still rocking the snowball mic though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the
This is
white
just
one.
better.
He's fancy.
Ooh, he's got.
Yeah.
Dude, snowballs are where it's at, dude.
That's the
That's
official
yeah.
GDP sponsor for 3/4.
Oh,
Oh, hey, look at that. Another
Wow.
snowball. Let's go.
Moving on. Hopefully no YouTube comments yelling at Scott. Although if you want to yell at him for something else, that's fine.
That's fair. Yell at Flockton for not telling me.
I thought it was just an audio thing that was just happening on our end or on my end.
we're trying new stuff this time around too. So. Who knows?
And what about you, Flock? Anything new?
I've been playing a lot of Frisbee. That's
That's not
pretty much
new.
about it. No, I know it's not. A lot of Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and I pretty much I was away for work a little bit, so I have been
You don't work.
busy in my life. Yeah, true. Then where was I?
no lifing it.
I
You
just
shit
don't
in
know.
the Discord.
What's that?
He's a Discord mod.
Yeah.
Walmart's not gonna
Putting
have
all-
box. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's not. Yeah,
Really?
Best Buy then. Best Buy for Lorcana. Scott just messaged me and said Walmart's not gonna have, or messaged in the Discord about
No,
Lorcana.
none of them are gonna have boxes in the store. When have you ever seen loose packs,
Well, I've been
booster
checking the
boxes in
website.
stores?
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have it on the website, but Best Buy already did their pre-orders and sold out.
Yeah. Well, they said they're holding some back for closer to release as well. Why they're doing that, no idea. But I'm surprised they even care. I figured they would just sell everything. And...
Yeah, that's I wouldn't be surprised if Ravensburger came in and said you agreed to sell these on this date, not sell them out right before, even then.
Yeah.
I've been fiending for it.
Yeah, I actually still have a tab open right now that every now and again I'll just refresh.
Yep, me too.
On Best
too.
Buy's website for the Lorcana box.
The great coming soon haunts my
Dude,
dreams. Dude,
I got boxes into my cart 2 to 3 different times for me to hit
Yep.
checkout and say that item's no longer available.
Just never happened. Just never went through.
Dude,
Yeah.
especially since it's Best Buy, I feel like I'm rebuying a graphics card in 2020.
Yeah,
or
that's kinda-
2021.
Oh, yeah.
I was just about to ask you, what was harder, your graphics card or the boxes for Lorcana?
Probably this, because the graphics card, there wasn't I don't know. I mean, there was direct competition, but there was all these Discords and Twitter things I could sign up for that would notify you, be a drop's coming,
True.
go to the site, order it here. Lorcana, that does not exist. At
No.
least that a available, somebody will post in the Facebook group and be like, hey, Best Buy has boxes, but I'm not seeing that till an hour or two after, and they're already all gone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, of GenCon, Lorcana seemed like a mess too. I gotta feel like FFG, it probably had to be nice to them to have their entire event just be hype and excitement and people enjoying the game, compared to seeing what was going on with Ravensburger and all the stuff was going on with Lorcana. And I'm sure FFG can still run into that. I gotta reset my camera. It's being all weird. But I'm sure they'll run into that, but it probably felt nice to have that first Gen Con of their game to just be demos and promos, and look at all the rage down the hall.
Yeah, I mean, Ravensburger really out FFG to FFG because FFG is always like they've had problems with that where it's like not as nothing. They've never really dropped anything at Gen Con that was maybe as big as Lorcana, but they've always had problems where it's like this mad dash to the FFG booth and it's there's line problems and they don't have any product and people are like getting pissed. So it was very much like kind of what I was used to seeing previous years that I went. Although, like, with Lorcana, there's so much extra because of like the resell of it because it's a collectible card game. So it's not like it's not like say when they drop like L5R or something like that where you buy like one core box or one or two core boxes and you're done. With this, like people want to buy like infinite products, so you're just getting so much reseller buy-in that it just like makes that imagery from Gen Con happen.
Hope FFG's taking notes on this because this is what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, FFG probably isn't. They're not going to release it at Gen Con next year.
At least I hope not.
That's a little far away. So.
I know with the whole supply-ish, like the whole.
It's been bad. Like I've seen a lot of traffic with stores being like, I ordered 500 boxes. I'm getting 2 dozen. And then, and then you see people post about like, oh, there's going to be a re-up in September. And then the people are posting, my re-up is 12 more boxes. Like, that doesn't even...
Yeah.
It's like, well, what's the difference, And then, who knows, like, how much you're going to see in like, the big box stores.
Yeah.
And then how much you're actually ever going to get to buy from the big box stores, because it's the same thing that happens with, like, Pokemon releases, where, like, you never even see them hit the shelves.
Yeah.
Because people that are legit, like resellers and hit their Walmarts, hit their Targets, store employees buy them before they even hit the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta start working at like a local game store or a
Well, I don't know about local game store, but you got to do Walmart or Target. Apparently.
I gotta take the 10 packs they have left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time a big set's about to drop for like Lorcana or new games coming out, just work at Walmart for like 2 weeks.
Just get hired.
Did you see on Reddit they had a post about the safety of the boxes because they've got they swapped. I don't know if you've seen the booster box opening or whatever, but they're not shrink wrapped. There's a pull tab on the bottom, and it's so easy because I guess it was because the heat this weekend, but like the glue on the sides of the boxes were like loosed on the box that you could reach in and take packs out of the box. So like if you're buying from a reseller, that's something to consider too. I don't know. I really like the game. I just like concerned about. This is a Star Wars podcast, but there's things to consider. Like I think that this launch is super questionable, and it's a shame because this game has legs. I think personally, I'm really having fun with it. I mean, it's got issues too, but there's not gonna be any product to play the game with. So it's tough.
I mean, I do think it's relevant. I mean, one, we're talking about Gen Con, but two, it's also like. Not only is Unlimited facing the competitors of who you would normally think of Fab, Magic, Pokemon, all them, but Lorcana is definitely a big competitor because they play a little similar and they're both releasing around the same time. So, I mean, to see them drop the ball and depending on the top, like if the rumors I heard for Unlimited so far were March and then I've heard one for September. So I would think between the two would be March.
Of next year?
Yeah.
Well, if it is September, then it's actually they're going to have to do a Gen Con drop of some sort. So let's hope it's not that. But yeah, it's definitely they're getting a lesson of like what you want to avoid,
which they also should already have anyways from like their past releases. But, but you would hope that they can see this and then say we're releasing in March. We saw this happen with Lorcana. Let's make it so our people can easily buy in. I know that's a tough line to draw for.
Yeah.
Like how many boxes to make and how many people are going to buy, how many the stores buy. They don't want to have too many sit on the shelves. But it's stuff with promo
Disney,
cards and whatnot.
Man.
Well, yeah, Disney you could pretty much print as much as you want.
It's a huge idea. You can do whatever. People are going to buy it. It's got the mouse on it. It's a seller.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's frustrating.
You just wonder like maybe how much money these companies have to put behind these products for like because you're shelling up money out up front and then you're recouping it on the back end, so that may be the limiter for why they're not printing as much initially, and then you just have to worry about if you don't print enough initially, are you going to sour enough people on the game that you're not going to get them back. And I think that's going to happen to a lot of like stores that would have otherwise wanted to run events and are going to not want to care anymore.
And evidently, another set is like close on its heels.
Yeah, there's
Like
I
within the
heard
next 3 or
about
4
a second
months.
set coming before like November or December, like coming before the year change.
Yeah,
Yeah, had the
that's
same issue with Destiny had at the beginning, where I got in at like Spirit of Rebellion and I couldn't find any Awakenings for a couple months.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm like, people are like, well, they're not like it's not first edition or anything like that, and it's going to be, they're going to print it endlessly. It's like, yeah, but they got to print like sets coming behind it, and if you need to ramp up your print sizes of your subsequent sets, that's going to cut into your ability to keep reprinting the beginning set until you expand your your contracts with the people that produce your game. And that was something that like FFG had with Destiny, where like they couldn't get Awakenings reprinted because they had to up the size of the next 2 sets.
Yeah,
and they did that other print run, but then I'm pretty sure that pushed either Legacies or the third set back. Like I remember that being like, oh, here's Awakening set or second print run, and a lot of stores did get it, but then there was
Mhm.
another gap between that and the set. So it was,
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a whole bunch of extra boxes of one of the sets? Like they had so much that you could still probably buy like a
the
closed box
Empire
of it now.
War, I'm pretty sure, because I think
Empire
that's when
War.
it started to like even
Yeah.
out, and they
Mhm.
stores could get as much as they wanted, so they did get as much as they wanted. But
Yeah.
then,
I remember Empire where it sat at Old King's Been for a while.
and a lot, not even. I'm picturing Top Deck like up on the shelves where their extra storage was
Yeah.
at their old place. I remember just there had to be like 50 boxes up there, man, just sitting there, and like everybody in our community had a playset. Like people weren't coming in, and then like nobody wanted to draft either because
Yeah.
our playsets.
Right.
But
And drafting to the game was not,
I don't think Rivals was out then either. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, it probably wasn't even possible.
Going in plane.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna switch to my Brio. This is a little annoying.
I think you're stuck, Jack.
Yeah. I'm gonna just switch.
He's
to my
like
Brio.
skipping. He's just like freeze
Boop,
frame,
boop.
freeze frame, freeze frame.
It's on your beautiful smile though.
Beautiful.
It's all good.
Now I'm on my terrible Brio instead of my
Oh.
nice camera. Anyways, so yeah. I mean that is sort of kind of what not to do. But did you guys get a chance to watch the game that we actually podcast about? Did anybody get to catch the demo streams of Jeremy and Aaron playing against each other?
I
Yeah,
saw a
I
little
did.
bit of it.
I got to catch some of the coverage, and then caught like some of the Team Covenant stuff and their like after interviews and whatnot.
I didn't even think of to watch any Team Covenant stuff. I didn't catch any of theirs. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much caught all the FFG stuff except for like that last day thing, and I heard nothing was actually said during that anyways, so I didn't go back to rewatch it. But I don't know, quick thoughts of finally, or even long thoughts, of finally seeing the game like hit the table, see people actually playing with cards. I know there's been some TTS and whatnot, but you're at an official event and you got Jeremy and Aaron with cards in their hands. Any reactions, how the game played out, how it looked, how the setup felt? Like, I don't know, just any reactions to seeing the game.
Well, I know for me it was like nice actually seeing like it played out with the cards because I don't really like TTS or anything like that. And just reading the rules, I'm not a very good read it, do it. I need to visually see it, so being able to see it actually was like very good for me to like see the pace of the play and how everything's played out. So I like seeing that.
Yeah, I thought. I thought everything kind of like played out how I'd kind of expected from like the initial previews and the rules primer that we had given. So there wasn't really like any surprises there, but it is card games have like there's a plus side to like the tactile nature of it. So I prefer to watch people play with physical cards than I do watching people play on like online clients and things like that.
Yeah.
I didn't do my homework this weekend. Sorry, I had a bit of a busy weekend. I didn't really get to it, but I'm sure it was everything I wanted it to be and more. And I'm sure Alan really liked it too.
Yeah, Alan can't stop saying positive things.
Alan has
Unlimited.
never liked a game more in his life.
It's he almost likes it as much as Joe.
True. They're front runners
That's-
for who's
I
going to
know,
be
they're
camping
like-
at the local game store.
They're really, really chomping at the bit for it. I
Uh,
wouldn't be
no, is
surprised if they go to Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really, they
for-
might be on
for-
the plane with you guys.
Oh,
All I know is I want some. I like that the what do you call it, the play mats with like the ground and air. I think I want that.
We'll take a look. Yeah, there's the 2-player mat which they
Yeah,
used. We'll
yeah,
take a
that
look
looked.
at that.
I want something like that. That was cool.
We'll definitely get that.
Flockton's gonna go to an event unroll a 2-player mat on top of someone's shit.
Hey,
I will
just-
be like, you have to use this because I want to know where your ground air units are and where your air units are.
Yeah, you actually probably want to always go first on Unlimited so you can set the tone.
You
don't
can
want
decide.
somebody telling you where to put your
Oh.
ground units. You
Yeah.
are always going to
Oh.
put your ground units on the right side. But if
What
they
if
do it
that
on their
has
right,
the-
it's now on your
Oh
left.
no, I hate that.
That's so forget shields, forget extra card, forget whatever card draw. The real advantage is setting the
Mhm.
tone for the game
Well,
for your
well,
ADHD.
it'll have to be like a reverse one. Like I would even get like one that you can flip over. Like if someone else goes first, like hold up, move all your stuff off the table. All right, flip your mat over, then you can put everything back on, and then it's the correct. That's what I would do.
So you're gonna
So-
bring like 2 personal playmats each time, one
Well,
that has the
well,
ground
two
on the
per-
right and one that has the space
No,
on the
no,
right.
no, it's double sided, so you just flip it over, and then it's the other way around.
I don't think anybody's going to set up their deck, put their cards face down, exhaust them, play a card,
Well, let me
And
flip
then
this over.
take them all off, and
Yeah,
We'll
I
do
feel
that.
like that's.
I will do that because I will do that. I will make it happen.
I don't
Are
think you
you
can.
a space on the right kind of guy or a space on the left kind of guy?
I'm ground right,
Space
space left. This
Yeah,
is what
probably
I think
that's
I
what
would
I'm
do.
Ground left. Yeah.
No, see, yeah, you go your ground on your right because you're gonna play more ground units than space units. Space on your left.
Yeah.
I'm
So this is
space
like
on the
Horde
right.
versus
But-
Alliance kind of thing.
But if everybody's doing that, you might have your ground on your left. Just saying. Because if they play it on the right, you gotta.
Yeah, see, Brian, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm mirrored, so it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Being
You're fine.
different is
Oh,
great.
so you just always go second then. You get the extra card or whatever it is for unlimited. I'm
There's
just thinking
also
more
the
time.
advantage of like actually going first in the game
No, that's
beyond
not a
being
thing.
able to,
No.
just play a unit
No,
first.
no.
No, it's all
I need
about-
to. I need
Because
to
what
set
if
the
you
tone.
if you miss your drop, then it doesn't matter.
I don't care about the card. I need to put my space units on the right.
That's funny. You're crazy. Crazy. L take.
I know. I'm full of those.
The demos were pretty good. It definitely seemed like they were both taking their time. Like it was definitely a slow game, especially for a demo.
Mhm.
But I think that's intentional marketing purposes. And then they also did not play certain cards because they were going to be revealed the next day. Like I think R2 or C3PO, whichever one reveals the card and you can draw it. If you like say the right cost, I think it's 3PO. I think Aaron revealed a card, but then like didn't show it because it was supposed to be for tomorrow. Or Jeremy was about to play like the TIE, whatever new TIE fighter it was, but it wasn't played because they wanted to save it for the next day. But my
They needed
favorite
to
moment,
somehow figure out how to censor the cards as they're appearing on stream.
yeah, pretty much. so the lines of play they were making weren't all they were thinking about, and then they were also trying to showcase probably every line of the play. They wanted to make sure they played space units, made sure they got like a restore going, make sure they got shields down, experience tokens down, probably things like that to showcase every aspect. But watching Jeremy's ATSD get waylaid or whatever that card is where you return it to hand was
Mhm.
very funny. Everybody was like, oh snap, ATSD hit the board. It's like a 6/7. 3-cost waylay back to your hand. All right, Jeremy will claim.
Yeah, I mean that's very much in line with like the way Smuggler and Scum played in like the LCG. They had like not kill your unit removal, but like bounce it to your hand removal. And it's a yellow card in this one.
Yeah. And one thing I thought was interesting, I'm pretty sure this was how it played out. If you and I are playing and I pass and you claim, that just ends the round, I believe. Like I don't think I'd go after because claiming technically counts as a pass. I'm gonna double check that while we're sitting here, but I'm pretty sure I also saw Gandork rule on that as well, and somebody
I
posted
mean,
that.
yeah, I think that's relatively fine. Like,
Yep. Take the initiative. Only one player can take this action each round. That player takes control of the initiative counter, even if they already have it, meaning they will go first in the next round. After taking the initiative, you can't take any further actions for the rest of the action phase. You are considered to pass for all remaining ones. After a player passes, if their opponent passes or takes initiative as their next action, the action phase immediately ends and play proceeds to the regroup phase. So that's certainly interesting because it's not like Destiny where I could pass, you could claim, and then I could do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
It's over and we reset. We go to the ready phase.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're avoiding that type of like staring contest. Like you got to like finish out. Like if you want to take your actions, you got to finish out your actions.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like that. I think I like that better. I haven't played, but I think I like that better for the reason that you just said.
Oh, I'm probably gonna hate it. I kind of like it, but as soon as it goes against me, I'm gonna start hating it.
That's like, you know.
Yeah.
Better than claiming and then watching your opponent play solitaire for the next like 5 minutes. You know.
Other than that, I mean, I think that, aside from us sitting down and playing it as well, I mean, I think that covers a lot of what, we could probably say about seeing it. It looked good. It looked fun. I've been playing some Lorcana lately, and this feels like there's a little bit more like depth to it. So I'm excited in that regard. But yeah, I mean, it looks fun. Looks ready to go.
There was one quote from, I think it was a Zach Bunn in like his after demo recap, and he said something along the lines of like, at every point that the game could be complicated, it wasn't. And his like tone, you don't know if that was like a good or a bad, like you don't know if that was a criticism or a compliment. Because it can really go like two different ways. FFG games, maybe less so Destiny than some of their LCGs, did have a reputation for being a little like on the fiddly side or the weighty side. Destiny was definitely a little bit more approachable than some of their past ones, and it really didn't start to get into like some of those fiddly aspects to it. Well, except for the dice existing, it didn't really get into those like fiddly aspects to it until you were starting to get into like the later sets. So it's going to be interesting to see if it not being FFG's normal kind of weightier experience is a benefit or a detriment.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to find out. I mean, Destiny was easy to sit down and play with, but it had that kind of fun dice attention-grabbing thing where this seems it's simple from the get-go, and does that hold that down in the long run? I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, and it's also like it you can introduce more complexity in subsequent sets, but there can be the problem of like if you go from like a 2 on a scale of complexity, and then your next set's at like an 8, you're immediately gonna trip everyone up, and it's gonna be a poor experience. So you got to kind of like ramp it up, baby steps.
But we're still working with like what, a quarter of the set.
Yeah, this is also the
50
starter
cards
too, right?
and
Isn't this
demos.
just the starter?
No, not even.
yeah.
It's 30 card deck, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Was the demos. So starters could still be full. I don't think they've said anything on that.
Okay.
But the demo tutorial decks were 30 cards in each, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I thought I heard him mention something about these being like starters or something like that. I thought I remember him say something like that. But yeah. Or at least like
there's
the
definitely been some
Luke and Vader are.
Yeah. There's been some cards that they've previewed that are a little bit more on the like big brain side, as opposed to some of like the more, kind of like basic cards that are just like a math function.
Yeah, like we haven't really seen a lot of like the green color that much. So I mean, that's still a whole faction, whatever they're called, that we haven't seen too much of. And as for a demo, you would expect most cards are probably just like play and do damage, play, buff another guy so that guy does more damage and stuff. And that's seemed like that was the extent of it. The most complex thing or the biggest combo seemed to was like on the hero side with like R2 and 3PO. Like R2 letting you look at the top, and then 3PO letting you like say a number and draw it if it's the right number. Yeah. We already seen some more cards with more effects with like Han Solo being spoiled and Palpatine being spoiled. Not that they're necessarily complicated cards, but they add another dimension at least. They have on-play effects. They have things that aren't just attack do damage.
I think there's still something to be said about the combinations of colors too, though. Like I think that's where some of the complexity is going to come, where they're probably playing like, I don't want to say like scripted-esque decks, but like decks that they probably thought were equal match into each other. We haven't even seen anything like, barely scratched the surface.
And it didn't even have some cards that you would think would be in it. Like Vader's lightsaber was spoiled, but not even in the demo decks with Vader. So that's something you would imagine would be in the starters and probably included in a Vader deck, but
Pulling their punches.
wasn't there. So yeah, definitely pulling their punches. But yeah, I mean,
it could be a blowout play, and you don't want to necessarily have that go off in your demo.
Yeah, well, especially because people are already talking about like the plays of Mahdi. When he's defeated, you can ready a dark unit. So it was like you could play Vader's lightsaber on Vader and then kill Mahdi and then ready do all these crazy things. And it's like, do we really want all these like crazy intricate reset plays happening in someone's demo deck? Because somebody could be sitting down for their 10th demo game and the other person could be sitting down for their first, which I'm sure happened.
I mean, yeah, I definitely when they previewed Destiny at GenCon, it was at GenCon. Yeah, I played a lot of demos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, so demo decks, I don't think they're the big tell. I mean, I think at this point, if you want to go beyond this, TTS at this point, I believe on Discord his name is the Dudeness, something along those lines. But he's maintaining a mod for TTS, and I mean, at this point, with 54 cards spoiled, leaning kind of blue and yellowish, you definitely could make like a decent Luke or Chewie deck, and Vader could have a decent one as well. So you have some options, but it's not like you could really, if you want to play with Leia, you're probably out of luck right now because like her main color is green, and that's that's whatever at this point. But yeah, so I mean that's coming out of Gen Con, looked exciting, looked good, but we kind of realized that they're using demo decks. All right, we're gonna swap and look at some of the GameGenic stuff. Did you guys get a chance to look at any of these?
That was the big seller for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
From the Gen Con previews, because it's like the cards, it's like I don't, it's like I care but I don't care until I can see like enough of them that it gives me a coherent picture. Yep. But the swag, that was oof.
So anybody watching on YouTube, these were images taken from the banners near like some of the demo areas near GameGenic. And we'll have another one and some of the mats to look at. If you're if you're listening from podcast, Spotify, Apple, whatever, you could just head over to Golden Dice Twitter, Golden Dice Facebook, and all those images are posted there as well that you can take a look through. And also, I went with the banners. There are some more close-up images of the deck boxes, which to me are the big selling point so far. I think even if you're not going to play Unlimited, these deck boxes might be worth it. Like I'm even thinking like my last game was Fab. These would be like great Fab deck boxes. Like I think it'd be really cool to put Bolton or Dash, think of the people that I played like in that slot right there, right in the front, because you can actually put your leader cards that's not built into the deck or the deck
next
box.
set, all mechanologists, buddy. I mean,
I saw that. Yeah. I saw we got a Doctor Strange is the
yeah, he really does. There's definitely some pictures where it's like, yeah, you're just watching too much Benedict Cumberbatch stuff?
Yeah. But yeah, on this image right here that we have has the really nice deck box, if you're looking at it on the right, and these are also going to come in different colors. And I even heard from people at Gen Con saying that the top part can be changed out as well with different colors. So if you buy a black one and a green one because your favorite deck is a black or like a villain character and whatever the green color is, you can have the base of it be black and the top be green or vice versa. So there's going to be some interchangeable aspects to it because it does look like that top part just completely comes off and it's magnetic. So really, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty in keeping with their
I don't know anything they've ever made before. I haven't bought or looked at anything else.
GameGenic stuff is really good.
I have some.
Yeah, I don't have a single GameGenic item at all. Maybe you know what? Maybe one of the first Marvel mats they ever did. I might have like an Iron Man or something if they did him that early. I forget for Marvel Champs.
I have a like the one of the big boys. And
is that GameGenic?
Like a huge, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And has like 2 rows of cool stuff. I have all my sleeves in here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they weren't those Marvel Champion mats. I mean, they do the Marvel Champion mats now, but they didn't do those like initial ones.
Gotcha. So then I got whatever wasn't them then.
But they do some like really nice deck box stuff. Like they've got all like the hives and the super hives, or I think that's what that's their naming convention. Maybe I'm switching it up without per deck, but I like the Game Genic ones better. And they recently did like a Kickstarter with the professor from Magic the Gathering, and his deck box that he like made. It is the best. It's like it actually is a really good deck box from the standpoint of it's got like compartments that you're like, I never knew I needed that until you see someone else's.
Yeah, this looked like it had spot for the cards, and then at the bottom there was like a token pull out, and it had it on each side as well because you might have 2 decks. This looks like the single deck one right here, but there was a 2 deck box as well. And on top of that, there looks like that's the smaller, like more flimsy little deck box, cheaper one. Store cards in. I mean, I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend them. I don't really have any like that type. I might have 1 or 2 just to store some random stuff in, but you got that.
Like the plastic shell style.
Yeah, plastic shell style. Yep. Then you got 4 different types of sleeves. 2, like one's the Luke, one's the Vader, and then there's looks like just the card backs, but one then has a red tint to it. And then you have all their tokens, which were really cool and actually came out. We realized that Game Genic did those tokens after the demo stream happened because everybody was asking like, are these promos? Are these things I can win? Like, how do we get these tokens? Because some of them look pretty nice.
More tokens.
Yeah, the bigger like black and white one that says Star Wars Unlimited is the initiative token. The like arrows going up and down, or if you get points, or like the experience token type things. The blue is the shield. The damage, as you can see, is just 1, 5, and 10. And the other stuff can't super tell. I think the purple one says an Arabesh. It's like a reminder token. One might be an epic action token or an action token, is things like that. So they seem pretty good. I mean, I'm a sucker for tokens, so I will likely be getting these tokens as well. Though, if we're streaming, I don't know, the 1, 5, 10 are pretty small. And I actually think since Team Covenant, we'll have to see what they come out with because I'm sure they'll probably do something too.
There's some cool like fab token companies that basically make like streamer versions of their stuff, which are like super enlarged so you can see it easier.
Yeah, the ones we used towards the end of Destiny, I actually really loved, even though they weren't like anything special. It was like just a giant resource token. It was like even like 10 damage, I think, or maybe it was 5, 3, and 1.
They were
5
huge.
was like a big blunt. Yeah, but it was like perfect. You could tell on stream exactly what
perfect.
it was.
Yep.
All the colors were different.
Yep.
Whereas like, you could tell the color difference between the 1 and the 10. The 1's like a red, 10's like an orange, but like the 1 and the 5, if that's not clear on stream, I don't know if you'll be able to tell. But that's some minor detail stuff. But I think the tokens I'll be grabbing, the deck box I'll be grabbing, the sleeves, unlikely, but I could be convinced if they're good quality to grab like the card back versions of it. I don't think I'll want like the Luke and Vader or characters like that on it. But Dragon Shield is so good, it's gonna be hard to pull me away.
Have you seen the new style Dragon Shields, the dual matte Dragon Shields?
No, I haven't.
So they're even better than the previous ones.
Yeah, Dragon Shield's so
They
good.
they have black interiors.
Oh, brother.
Oh wait, no, I do have one of them.
You have one of them?
I do
Okay.
have one of them. Yeah, I do have one of them. I think that was like the last one I bought for Fab before I stopped playing. All right, so that's the first banner of it. The second one here displays. Oh, so there's the 2 deck box, and then there are the 4 individual playmats, and then the big one is that multiplayer mat that Flock was mentioning earlier, which is just like basically a space background, but it has areas for you to put everything. But I do have close-ups of all the mats, so I can quickly cycle through those. So this one is like kind of the starter mat because it is a single-player mat, but it does have the zones for your commander, for your base, for your deck, for your ground unit, space unit. So if you do want something that is organized on your playmat, the Death Star is going to be the way to go because that's the only one that has that of what they've revealed so far. But after that, you got a TIE Fighter. Looks good. You got the Vader one, probably the best one by far for me. Him on Hoth entering the base, all the snow troopers behind him. Looks super good. And then we have an X-Wing one. The X-Wing's probably, from my opinion, the Death Star is the most boring for me. But I also don't like having to play stuff on my mat, like the areas on my mats.
I need that Vader one.
But that Vader just blows out of the water. I'm almost a little disappointed that there's no like There's a Death Star. There's an X-wing. There's the best art probably we've seen so far with Vader on this mat, and then the Rebels just get an X-wing. Like, where's my Luke? Where's my Leia? I want something. Give me something.
Yeah.
That's coming maybe. But yeah, I mean those mats are good. I mean I'm probably if I do buy one, it'll be the Vader one, but I still have so many Destiny mats that I'll probably still use, plus the Golden Dice mat. So.
Yeah, I just thought of. Do you guys remember from Destiny with the battle droids that when you had multiple of them, they made like a picture? Now they kind of
Yeah.
did something like that.
Yeah. That
Well,
promo.
what if they did that with mats, where it was like if you had two separate mats, whatever, they make like one giant picture. I was thinking about that. That'd be cool.
I'm trying to think if they ever did that with the LCG, because there were some cards where it was like one was one side of the thing, and the other was the other.
Yeah.
But I don't think they ever came out with like the mat. They came out with like a mat for one of the cards, but not for the other. So I don't think they kind of completed that picture.
Oh,
It's a little
that'd be
tough
dope if they did
sometimes
something
because
like
you have
that.
to get like, since your mats are going to be facing each other, it's kind of like a weird framing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It'd be cool if it was like a Battlefield thing where they had like something like
Mhm.
that. Where you said, "Oh, cool, you got the opposite one," and then it's just like a cool thing to talk about.
Tweet at them, dude. They're
Something-
pretty.
Something that came top of mind, you know.
They're active on Twitter, man. Reach out. Ask for a cut.
Oh yeah, because they don't listen to this, so I gotta like reach out to them. All right.
Oh yeah, I mean I doubt Game Genic listens to this. Yeah. Quite frankly, I'm still not believing the fact that FFG listens to this.
It'd be better if they didn't.
Yeah, probably better for the game, the community, their mental health.
An hour
Probably
and
both.
some change of their life every time, just
Yeah.
gone,
Yeah.
and nothing was gained.
I think that pretty much covers most of the big stuff that came out. We're about to get into spoilers, so everything besides spoilers, I think we covered. I mean, I guess we can say this at this point, even though I had it later in the notes, was that the next event is in Germany, October 5th through 8th, launching globally in 5 languages. And Flock and Brian have a big announcement that they have to fully commit to and cannot back out at all
Yep.
under any circumstance. But both you guys were looking to go, right?
Yeah, I'm launching globally in one language personally. So, but I think Flock and I are going to take a trip.
I just gotta get it
most
past.
enthusiastic. Yeah.
Yep. I just gotta get it past my boss to make sure it's okay. But
We literally
got the
planned this an
time.
hour ago.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
this
we
is,
did.
hot off the press.
I
Well,
was,
I was-
as surprised as can be.
I was driving home from work and I was listening to one of the re-listening to one of the streams, and they mentioned like where it was in Germany. Like, oh, okay, be cool. So I just, as a joke, just like, yo, let's go. And then Brian just like immediately says, yeah, I'd be down. I'm like, I was not expecting that, but gotta go full throttle now.
Yeah, well, it's
I think he's mad that we didn't go to
Gen
GenCon.
Yeah, it's the very end of October.
Yeah,
Fest,
it's kind of funny that they're like, yeah, let's do this, and it's like we could have went to Gen Con.
If my
We didn't go to
weekend went a little
GenCon for a
differently-
concert that you didn't go to the concert anyway.
Yeah,
so it
I
was like
know.
the big thing that kept you
Wow.
home.
I know.
See, I'm disappointed since they had to do that whole like Lorcana thing with people camping out in line. My plan of going and then just like not actually getting accommodations could have worked. I could have just slept in the Lorcana
Yeah,
line.
yeah. Just brought a tent. And
Yeah.
Like
your
I wouldn't
chair.
got kicked out. I wouldn't have been a hobo. I would have been,
In
a
line for
Lorcana fan.
Yeah,
And then just in the morning get out of line.
yeah. Dude, this would
Sell my
have
spot.
been probably the best. So out of all the Gen Con, I've never been to Gen Con, so I can't, like, I'm sure it's really great to go without this anyways, because there's a lot going on. But, man, to go the year of, like, Lorcana releasing and Unlimited getting demos and all this info, seemed like it would have been a really fun year to go.
Yeah, I mean, I've been 11 times. Like we went 10 years in a row. And then everybody had kids. Jerks. And it is like, I mean, like every year is kind of like that. There's usually a few big products that are coming out that have like a lot of hype. And it really depends. Like if you're into those things, then it's great. But then if you're not into those things, it's just annoying because you're dealing with like the throngs of Lorcana people knocking people over with wheelchairs and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
saw that.
But that like, I mean, that happens. It's like clockwork every year. They're always like, nobody run, nobody push, nobody blah, blah, blah. And as soon as they open those doors, it's like a stampede at Walmart on Black Friday, back when Black Friday used to be a thing.
Yeah.
Well, if they do that in Germany, Brian and I won't be able to understand them, so we'll just do it anyway.
You'll just start running. I thought you
We'll
said to
start
run
running.
over the person in the wheelchair. I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
You'll be.
Two most
They will be
ignorant
the only
Americans
two
in
doing
Germany.
it.
Yeah.
They'll be the only two doing it because everybody else will be like, polite.
Everybody's walking, and then Flock's
Go
just drop kicking
Birds!
somebody in crutches.
Go Birds!
Go Birds! Yes. Wait, no, you have to say that, Brian. We can't let Flock say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying go Birds. Heck no.
Yeah, he supports it.
Yeah. Flock's not. Flock's.
What is he, a
not that
Buccaneers
guy.
fan still, or what?
Yeah, he's a
what-
Buccaneers
No,
fan.
I'm
He's a
still
Tom Brady fan.
I'm still a Patriots fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right. So that pretty much wraps up our Gen Con, unless you guys have any specific notes for that. We'll get into spoilers. Cool.
Got
so-
a lot of spoilers.
We have a lot to catch up on because, like we said, we haven't done this in a while. Why am I, okay, there we go.
Took you a
But
second.
yeah,
there,
we
bud.
haven't done this in a long time, pretty much since our spoiler, but even before that, we missed on some. So we talked Surprise Strike for that, but I mostly wanted to go back so we could touch on Director Krennic, Mr. Secret Invasion himself. But he was spoiled, so he's one of 5 leaders we have. We have Luke, Vader, Leia, Krennic, and then most recently Chewie.
Mhm.
But yeah, Krennic, yeah, he's a blue villain. Each friendly damage unit gets +1 attack, +0 defense. His epic action, you only need 5 resources to deploy him. And he's an Imperial and an official. And when you flip him, he is a 2/7, restore 2. When this unit attacks, heal 2 damage from your base, and he still keeps that each friendly damage unit gets +1 attack. And he's 2/7. Leader unit ground. So still all ground leaders as well for Chewie. So
Is he an Imperial official or is he an official Imperial?
Imperial official. Imperial dot. Dash.
Wow. Oh,
Maybe. It looks like a dot. It could be a dash. Unconfirmed. Official.
Unknown. Unknown. It doesn't.
Obviously doesn't have the flash of Vader. And he also comes out 2 turns earlier. But Krennic kind of screams like maybe longer game is what he's trying to go for. Just have some stuff to stall out the game. Maybe blue villain has some big things that they might want to end up playing. I don't know. We really haven't seen any specific like blue villain stuff that jumps to my mind, but seems fine, but it's hard to tell within this empty vacuum of 50 cards.
Yeah, obviously, he needs things paired with him that can take damage and not die.
Yeah, like those stormtroopers who are like 3/1, you're not going to get. I mean, they might still be worth it if your base is red, right? A 3/1 one cost could be decent, but like they're not going to be able to be built around.
Yeah, they're
them.
not
But
synergizing with his ability. It
Yeah.
also makes like like some of the cards where like they have like ambush and things like that where they get to like strike first. It does make like the trades a little bit different because if you put damage on something, you're actually upping their attack, so you got to like clean it up in one hit.
Yeah, like him playing beefy units could definitely make it a little bit more awkward for your opponent to trade.
But it does have like a kind of like an anti-synergy with it where it's like every one of your units gets this ability, but you're having to play beefier units, which means probably fewer units in a lot of cases. So it's kind of one of those weird things. But +1 can really like shift the math on one of these cards, and then he's restoring your base every time he attacks, and he's got 7 health, so you can probably get a few shots in, 1 or 2 shots in easily.
Yeah, and Restore seems pretty good. I mean, at least from the demos, some of the early gameplays we saw. Some of the loot games I saw were one off the fact that their arcs restored anywhere from 4 to 6 health, and they ended up winning by 2 or 3 or something like that. So I think Restore can be a pretty powerful keyword in a game where you only have 30 health.
Yeah, and I think it's especially like when you've got one set in, especially where things aren't necessarily as polished and punchy, then the Restore is more impactful than it'll be when like you're multiple sets in and you can have like a deck that's a little bit more tuned to outrace the Restore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And that's Krennic. We have seen all these. Surprise Strike we talked about in our spoiler one. Restored Arc we just kind of mentioned. It's a 2/3 space. Restore 1. All right, so scrolling up, Open Fire was our spoiler. Deal 4 damage. We all said we kind of liked it, but kind of gets actually outclassed by something we'll see in just a little bit. But here we have our rare green card. The Emperor's Royal Guard is a unit ground 3 cost, green, black. It's a 3/4 Imperial. While you control an official unit, this unit gains Sentinel. So while you control Emperor Palpatine as a leader or unit, this unit gets +1 defense. So the synergy, you can already go back to Krennic if you're running green as your base. That could be something because this thing will have Sentinel because he is an official. But of course, if you have Palpatine, who was also just spoiled today, right? Tuesday the 8th, or was that yesterday? I think that was yesterday, August 7th. So we actually had our first Palpatine, but that was just a unit card. So if there's a leader, obviously this will be really good, especially if he's an official for Palpatine, because then you get all the benefits. But seems good, but again, in a vacuum of no green really in play, it's hard to say, but I like Sentinel. Sentinel seems like a good keyword too.
What's a Sentinel again? I'm drawing a blank on it.
They have to kill that before attacking the base or other
Oh,
units.
okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, guard, taunt.
Guard, yep,
Yeah.
yep. Okay.
They're running out of words for that type of like ability.
Yeah. And I guess Sentinel is maybe thematic within Star Wars and war. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you have like Jedi Sentinels.
Yeah.
That was always the thing, so
Yeah.
they picked a good one.
All right, next is a yellow hero, and it is a space unit. It's the Ozatuk Liberator gunship. I hope I said that right. It's a vehicle fighter, 3 damage, 4 health, and it has ambush. After you play this unit, it may ready and attack an enemy unit. And as a reminder, if it can't attack an enemy unit, you cannot ready it. So you can't ready and attack the base. Brian, what do you think of this? You think it's going to liberate anything? Is it truly a liberator, or is it going to be in the jail of your binder?
Me personally, it's going in my binder, but I think it's going to be good. I don't play good cards.
Oh, yeah.
Anything with ambush is
Wait, do you
probably
even
great.
have any binders? Don't I still have your binders?
Nope, I got them all back.
You got them all back. Oh yeah, I gave you back. Oh, nice.
They're full of flesh and blood,
Hey, look.
but they're there. They're there.
Some of them aren't full of flesh and blood. I took a lot of things
No,
out of them.
I took care of the one for Lorcana. Not that I'm gonna need the whole thing. I'm not gonna fill.
No, you're not gonna have any cards.
Not
to
going to have
buy.
enough cards yet.
But that's where I would put my Lorcana cards if I
That's
could
fair.
buy any.
If I had.
Yeah.
No, the Ozatuk Liberator gunship looks pretty good. Like I said, ambush is gonna be pretty cool. I think.
Yeah, but
ambush is gonna be big.
So this one you said is you can't ambush unless there's a unit, so you can't ambush attack the base. So I feel like this would be really bad if you're playing against like a deck that doesn't have many, because you probably don't want to play this unless they play like an air unit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because you can't attack a ground with it. You would have to go.
yeah,
Unit. But
so you probably wouldn't play this if they haven't played an air unit yet.
yeah, I mean, unless you just want to get an air unit in because
True.
they don't.
Yeah.
And
For
when
sure.
you do ready it, it's 3 attack until they answer it.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah,
See-
4 is a weird cost, but I do kind of like the stats for it. The stats so far for space have kind of been low, which I think they said hasn't been intentional, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like it could easily trade into something that they drop early, and then
Yeah.
be there and force them to play another card into space, which just kind of like allows you to tempo.
Yep. Like it trades into the restored arc. Obviously, can delete the TIE Fighter, the Alliance X-Wing, the Imperial Interceptor, and it's currently living through all that stuff too.
Yeah,
It's
that's the
4 health.
important side. Like it's one thing to eat something. It's like one thing. Nobody wants to play like a 4 cost, because then it's just like a 4 cost removal card if it doesn't live.
Yeah.
But if it lives through it, then it's removal plus.
Yeah.
Could be infinite value because they might never play another space unit.
Cool. Yeah, 3/4 seems beefy for space, but even just looking at the Emperor's Royal Guard right next to it, it costs 1 less. It's ground, and it could potentially have. Well, 1 already has the same stats, but it could have Sentinel and a +1 defense. So higher potential upside in stat wise. So just seeing that difference in space and
Yeah.
go down.
I think it's kind of in line with a lot of the stuff. Everything space is 1 cost stat lighted or something. Yeah, stat nerfed.
All right, next up we got the Rebel Pathfinder, and this was actually spoiled by our friends at Wreck and Rule, I believe. I don't remember
Oh wow.
everyone got who got what spoiler, but I do remember that one because I know Brian's like the only one that's even half interested because Joe's got a lot of issues to work out. But Rebel Pathfinder is a 2-cost unit ground. It's a Rebel Trooper, 2 damage, 3 health, and it's got Saboteur, which is when this unit attacks, it ignores Sentinel and defeat Defender's shields. Flock, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, seems good. Just going right through the Sentinels, you know. So for a 2 cost too, you're getting a 2/3 plus you get to go through Sentinels. Now that I know what Sentinel means.
I think Shield for me seems like the big part of the Saboteur, and I'm interested to see what other cards have this because as of right now, I'm pretty sure Shields just block the entire attack. So like,
Yeah.
So you remove the shields, then do the 2 damage.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
So even if you're not killing the thing with that,
You're removing the shields, which
Getting the
is
shields off, doing the
essentially at
2,
least
and
1
then-
damage.
yeah. Rather than just
Game
having
is
the entire 2 shields just get or 2
Too many
damage just get eaten.
keywords. Not complex. Come on now. Come on.
How many
But
keywords are there?
There's like 6.
Yeah.
Too many. I only know 3 words.
Oh wait,
There's
Now you need to learn those 3 words in another language.
Oh,
One,
come
two,
on.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, Brian. You can
All
do
right,
it.
we'll give it to Brian then. 8 is 7. I
That's
would,
a ton.
One is shielded. So, I mean, that's just a shield.
and let's just get a shield. Let's just have a shield.
I know that one.
Yeah.
My Destiny brain's coming back. I know Shields, Sheldons,
Sheldons.
Shieldy D's.
All right, next one is a 3-cost Super Laser Technician. It's a green villain ground unit. It is a 2/1 Imperial, 3-costed, and it says when defeated, you may put this into play as a resource and ready it. Scott, what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, anything that like resource ramps is typically like a big deal, and you can obviously like force things to get defeated. You can kill it on your own. I'm pretty high on that one.
Yeah,
Gramatala.
I would say it reminds me of Grammatala, but almost seems
Grammatala.
better because he goes
It's better.
into it ready, whereas she goes
Yeah.
into it exhausted.
Exhausted.
And
Costs
he's
more,
got
though.
one more attack than Grandma.
Yeah, it's a better trade into people.
But he also costs 1 more. She costs 2, and these are direct comparisons because they're in the same game, definitely. So this
But
all works.
But no, I think that this is a better Gramatala.
Yeah. The fact it comes into play ready, I think, can really open some awesome plays to where
Is
you could
green
also
Sapphire?
sneak in certain things that your opponent might not be expecting because it comes in ready.
Yeah, because you think you drop this. Say you drop this on your 3 resource turn. Then when it's ready to attack, you've got 4. You attack with it, kill it. Now you're at 5, and boom, you can bring out your 5-cost unit.
There comes Krennic. There he goes.
There comes Krennic.
Yeah. I mean, I think stuff like that where just needing the resources will be really good, like bringing out a leader. Like getting him to get you to 7 to get Vader out a turn early, or even just before your opponent's ready for him, I think will be a really good place.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if you can like find good trades for it, because then if it kills something, then it's like you're not necessarily like mad that you've lost like the stats that would normally be associated with like a 3-cost, but you are giving up like a fair bit of stats, because if you look at the Emperor Royal Guard right next to it, you're giving up an attack and 3 health, and then all the other abilities.
Yeah, 2/1's terrible for a 3-cost, but obviously you're playing this for the when defeated, and if it can trade into a 2, great, perfect. All right, next is Snowtrooper Lieutenant. That's a unit. It's ground. It's Imperial Trooper, 2-cost, and it is just villain. So just the black symbol. And it is a 2 attack, 2 shielded, and it says when played, you may attack with a unit. If it's an Imperial unit, it gets +2 attack for this attack. Flock, what are your thoughts?
That seems pretty good for 2 cost. I mean, you also have to have other Imperial units, but +2 for an Imperial unit if you're attacking with it seems legit.
Hey, you play this guy and the super laser's down. You're attacking for 4, get a good trade.
I mean, if you're
Somewhere
just thinking
4
about it
numbers.
from the standpoint, like it doesn't say, it doesn't restrict you to ground or space.
Nope, just Imperial units.
So you could go, you drop the TIE fighter on 1, you drop the snowtrooper lieutenant on 2, boom, you're hitting for 4 in space. If they don't have a space thing, straight to the base.
Yep. The TIE Ellen fighter is a Imperial. The Imperial Interceptor is an Imperial.
Mahdi's an Imperial.
Mahdi's Imperial.
Although he's not a 1.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
But it's definitely like a classic kind of like rush archetype in these like singular resource ramp games where it's like you drop your 1, they're usually like a 2/1, and then you drop your 2 that buffs them up, and you can either trade into like your opponent's 2 if you're a turn behind, or you can go face.
Yeah. So this, I think even the next card up will probably help us expand, and we can kind of see the play there too. So this is the Snowtrooper Lieutenant, and then this is the 1st Legion Snowtrooper. It is a 2-cost unit ground red villain. Imperial Trooper, has 2 attack, 3 health. It says, while attacking a damaged unit, this unit gets +2 and gains Overwhelm. Overwhelm is deal excess damage to the opponent's base. So if you have this guy on the board, they have a damaged thing, you drop the lieutenant, this guy's now attacking for 6 Overwhelm, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
Man.
It's a good like finishing
Very
combo.
good.
Yeah, and even if the Snowtrooper then dies, just knowing all that extra whatever. And this could still be, you could play well, I mean, I don't know how the damage might necessarily work out, but like turn 2 or 3, you could probably get that combo off and already get 4 to 5 damage off into the base, along with clearing some of their early units. But we'll see how that goes. Next up, very interesting piece of removal. It is Force Choke. It is red villain. It's a 2-cost. Just says Force for the title or whatever. Force Choke. If you control a Force unit, this event costs 1 less to play. Deal 5 damage to a non-vehicle unit. That unit's controller draws a card. Do you auto-include this to automatically just deal 5 and let them draw a card? Or do you only include this when you're hoping to get it off for 1?
I don't like giving my opponent card draw, typically.
Yep.
1 for 5 seems like a big deal because 5 you're hitting like a lot of things above your weight class.
It's got to be the best curve of damage so far, I think. Just purely looking at the damage, not factoring in the card.
But you're still like for pretty much, I mean, for every leader we've saw, like not even Leia dies to like just straight 5. You'd have to have some damage on her already. So, I don't know. It really is going to depend on like the break point of like what does 5 kill by itself versus what does 5 not kill by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wouldn't really want to use this if it only kills like a 2 or 3. Like damaged unit.
Yeah, it's a little rough at that point.
Yeah.
You're giving him a card back, and it's like, all right, well, what did you really like? What gain did you get from that?
Yeah.
What is the value of a card?
Yeah.
And like, do you even want to use it if you don't kill the unit? So say it's like a 6 health, you probably not even want to use it then.
Oh, yeah.
Then that unit's still alive. So you're probably looking at you only use it if it's a 4 or 5. So then you limit your pool of when you actually use it on cards.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Well, also there are some tricky plays too, as we'll see with Mahdi as well. I mean, you could Force Choke Mahdi, kill him, draw a card, reset Vader. So there's some interesting plays there because it says.
So you can Force Choke your own unit.
Yeah.
If you control this.
Oh yeah,
event,
that's why it says that.
But it's just
that
the
unit's
controller's
controller.
unit.
Yep. So you
So
can
you can use it as like a cantrip to trigger like one of your own death things if that's what you really needed to do.
Oh yeah, it's like when Vader was Force choking one of his own guys.
It was Admiral Mahdi.
That's Mahdi, yeah.
It was a Mahdi? Okay, yeah.
And then Admiral Ozza. Like just if you were an admiral, you're probably getting force choked. Director Krennic got it a little bit. It's just it's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
It will be interesting when we get like more Force users, because when you're looking at the original trilogy, your pool of Force characters is going to be pretty narrow. But then if you expand specifically backwards into like prequel stuff, then all of a sudden everybody's a Force user.
Yeah, and a Force unit.
But it's villain though, yeah.
Yeah, villain.
So I mean, you limit your pool a little bit that way.
Yeah, you would need villain red
You can run whatever you want, you know?
Well, I'm using it with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess unit probably would. Yeah, it would mean Vader on the ground, right? He would have to be deployed, right? Because then he'd be classified as a leader separately. Right. So this isn't always online just because you have Vader as your main leader. Vader
No,
would have
if
to
they're
be deployed.
if they're just a
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's some interesting tricks that you can do with this play. I think in general, we'll also have to see how important card draw is in this game too, as well. Like thinking I've recently been playing Lorcana, and I would almost never ever want to let my opponent draw ever in that game. But other games I've kind of been okay with it, depending on how much.
How many
value
cards
I
a
get.
turn do you draw in Lorcana?
One.
Oh yeah, it's
So
And one of
kinda
those
why.
goes to ink most of the time, so it's
you're inking a lot. Yep.
It-
Yeah.
Wait, what? What's ink?
That's the same thing as playing a
resources.
resource in this game.
Oh, okay.
your inkwell, your resources.
Your inkwell.
Yeah.
I think it has uses, but I think it's like, it's. I don't want to say it's a late game card because it's not. I don't know. It's tricky. I think I have to see more cards before I can say what it.
How many
we
can we
go
run
with.
in a deck? How many? Lorcana's 4. Is this
3? 3, yeah.
Okay, dude. Literally, the lines are so blurred between the rules of Lorcana and this sometimes.
I
And
thought it
is
was
this a
4 for
50
this,
card
too.
deck?
Yeah.
And Lorcana
Oh,
60.
wow.
I think.
Lorcana 60. I know. I
Yeah.
know Lorcana's rules better than the Smooth's rules.
Well, we played Lorcana. This we have.
Yeah.
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 I think if I'm running Vader, I probably run, if 3 is the max, I probably run 3, depending on what other villain leaders we get and see. Like, even though this is only active when Vader's out, being able to get Vader out and still have 7 resources to play with, right? Because epic actions don't cost the resources. I think you can reliably get this off at least once for 1. And, there's some interesting plays that you can set up, like I said, with Mahdi and stuff, but also just 1 for 5 could be really good. The card draw is situational. I'm not gonna say you never want to play that for that, but there could be a time where you just blowing up their big play could be worth them getting another card. But yeah, and then we got another piece of removal, which I mentioned earlier, 3-cost event, Waylay. It's a trick, and it is just yellow, and it's return a non-leader to its owner's hand. Really good.
Love that one.
I think the later this game goes, the more value this gets. I mean, even
especially because you come in and you're not usually not acting immediately, so you're really kind of time walking your opponent.
Yep. Yeah, this happened. Like I said, it happened to Jeremy. He played his ATSD. He spent all 6 resources, 7 resources, whatever it was on that. Got waylaid. You're like, all right, I'll claim. Next turn he had to play it again, and it comes in exhausted too, still or whatever. So, you're delaying him a whole bunch. So yeah, I think waylay is really good. And now here's the famous Emerald Mahdi we've been talking about. He is a 2-cost villain, unit ground, brazen and scornful, I think is what it says. A little fuzzy, can't fully read that. But he, again, 2 costs, 1 damage, 1 health, imperial, official, and when defeated, you may ready a villain unit. Think that's really good, but even though he's 2 costs, he's still kind of like a mid to late game card, because right, if you play him turn 1, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Like if you play him early and he just gets killed without something relevant getting readied, then that kind of feels
weird
bad.
breakpoints.
But
Yeah.
there could be some of the, going back to. Never mind. I was gonna say Lieutenant just says for this attack, not this turn. Well, it's attack. Yeah. So okay, never mind for that. I was gonna say there could be some certain plays where, if you buff somebody with Lieutenant and getting to attack twice with that thing through Mahdi dying could be pretty good, but that was only that attack.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he seems mid to late where a unit gets buffed or it's just a big unit in general that you can reset and go again.
Yeah, Mahdi's gonna die a lot.
Yeah, he's gonna get force choked. He's gonna have to.
Yep, just over and over again. And he looks so swarmy in his picture.
Yeah, really.
He looks like he needs to get. Oh, he looks like he has a vitamin D deficiency.
Probably.
He's a little sun. I guess
They're
they don't
not-
have like
so
much
they're
sun
not
on
touching
the
a lot of
Death Star.
grass when they're on the
Yeah,
Death Star.
literally, they don't have any grass.
Next one we got is Galactic Ambition. And this is just a villain card. It's an event. Play a non-heroism unit from your hand for free. Deal damage to your base equal to its cost. seems terrible. I don't know. With the current 50 card pool that we have, I don't see this ever being relevant because you would have to. It would have to be a card greater than 7, but then that means you're dealing 8 or more to your base.
I mean, you could run cards that aren't like, you could run a card that's like not your affiliation and get around that a little bit maybe.
But does it add up? I mean, is that even like beneficial?
The only thing I can see this being beneficial for is if it's like the kill. Like, yeah, I'll take 7 if I have 8 health to put something down that gets readied instantly and just does damage.
But it doesn't come in instantly, does it?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it
It's
says
still
play,
exhausted.
so yeah, comes
You
in
play.
It comes in exhausted.
But I'm saying, what if that high costed card comes in readied?
But then you have someone else on the other side that does 1 damage to your base and you lose.
So like Flock's scenario would be if that person had ambush and overwhelm. So I was like, they go on. Like he's saying like that you win on that absolutely that play.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't read keywords.
If
Flock's
doing
thinking
it
of
gives
very
you the
niche
winning
scenarios.
play or something like that.
And it counters Ray 1.
They can also take
Yeah.
initiative, and then you're like, okay, I can do what I want. So
Yeah.
but there's
I think it's
nothing
very
that's been
ballsy.
previewed so far that would make me
risky.
excited about it.
No. Yeah. Currently, this
High
is
risk,
a
low
binder.
reward.
no,
Well, Brian, this is your card. So make this.
No, actually, honestly,
It's so bad.
we're
that
doing a
Brian
whole
won't
different
use
this time around. It's so bad that I won't touch it.
it.
That's a new
true.
That's a new low
True.
for me.
Brian will touch anything.
Dang.
Look at
Well,
my
like,
Destiny history.
Really bad events are
Dodge
also just hard.
Savage.
They're hard to like meme with. Like Super Laser
But it's-
Siege Cannon was a meme, but like if you played that, you still could just do like 9 damage with it.
No, it wasn't. No, that was a real deal, baby.
Well, yeah, my bad.
That
Sorry.
was a great card.
Sorry.
This
So-
is bad though. I wouldn't touch this.
Yeah, not worth it. Unless something else comes within the next. I mean, we have 200 more cards to look at or so. So
yeah.
I'm gonna read the next two because they kind of go together: R2D2 and C3PO, which I love C3POs are, by the way, and R2s. But R2D2 is a ground unit, 1 cost, a hero. He's ignoring protocol, and he's a rebel droid. He has 1 damage, 4 health, and he has a when played / on attack. Look at the top card of your deck. You may put it on the bottom of your deck. Otherwise, leave it on the top. And then going up to C3PO, so you understand the full value of what they're doing. He is a 2-cost unit ground hero C3PO, and he is a protocol droid. So R2D2 is ignoring protocol, and C3PO is protocol droid. And he, again, has 1 damage, 4 health, rebel droid, and also has a when played / on attack. Choose a number, then look at the top card of your deck. If its cost is the chosen number, you may reveal it and draw it. Otherwise, leave it on the top of your deck. So the synergy there is looking at it with R2 and then playing or activating C3PO and drawing that. Saying the number. Oh, I know there's a 2 cost on the top of my deck. I'm going to say 2. And a draw.
This is giving me Mother Talzin vibes, which I'm liking, but not liking that it's not Mother Talzin. Because I'm seeing Mother Talzin and the orb, was that the orb thing that you would do?
The
So
orb
that's
let
what
you
I'm
look at the
seeing.
top or send it to the bottom, right? Or look at,
Yeah, well, no, it was you can look at the top of yours or the opponent's deck. That's all it was, and then when you activate Talzin, you could reveal, or call the cost or whatever. Or if
if it was odd, then you turn a die.
yeah,
I'm surprised
So-
they have 4 health.
Yeah. I mean, those are, like, obviously terrible attack, but, I mean, R2 is a 1 unit with 4
they're
health.
pretty beefy boys.
C3PO is a 2 unit with 4
I mean
health.
they've taken a lot of damage in their past, you know.
Yeah, they
C-3PO
always
had
seem
all his parts taken apart, and he still talks.
they always seem to come at it, on top.
Yeah, combo seems really good. Card draw, card knowledge, stuff like that is just good. Even just, like, having R2 is going to be pretty good. I think they'll just become awkward if your opponent has, like, saboteurs you can't deal with.
Mhm.
Because then just sending them to attack a potential beefy unit is just going to feel bad.
I want to watch C3PO wipe the floor with Marty. That's a breakpoint that works.
True.
Actually.
C3PO could just... I think there was a game that somebody was talking about where C3PO was the killing blow on somebody's base. Or on Vader's base or whatever, which
Wow.
is funny.
That's funny.
Hey,
Well,
every
C3PO
little bit
could break them.
counts.
Yeah. I mean, for
Yeah, it works.
3 resources in total, you could potentially get card draw on 2 damage. You know, obviously that's 2 cards involved, but seems good. You can get it off. I like it a lot.
Or you just like are really, really like you like to gamble, so it's just C-3PO by himself.
Yeah, just
I
call.
like the gamble.
I'm gonna make a deck with everything that costs 2, and I'm always gonna hit.
I mean, if you're playing like kind of a low to the ground rush deck, like you do kind of you might have some like limited things and just start calling them out.
All right. Next up, we got a 3-cost Heroism Fleet Lieutenant. He's a ground unit. Rebel Trooper, 3 damage, 3 health, and he has the same thing as the Snow Trooper Lieutenant, and says, when played, you may attack with a unit. If it's a Rebel unit, it gets +2 for this attack. So pretty much everything we said, apply it to this for Rebels.
Yep.
It seems good.
Good.
Next up,
Cool.
or did you? What were you gonna say? I don't know who that was.
Cool.
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 Slightly more expensive.
Yeah.
Slightly better statted.
Yeah. Yeah, the lieutenants, 2 costs, 2/2, and this guy's 3 costs, 3/3, yeah. But still both have the +2 attack.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Vigilant Honor Guards, dropping the hottest album. I don't know, they just look like they're in like some type of band there. 5 cost, ground unit, it's a blue hero. They are a rebel unit. They have 4 attack, 6 defense, and while this unit is undamaged, it gains Sentinel. And remember, Sentinels units in this area can attack your non-Sentinel units or your base.
Yeah, those poses are weird, man. What are they doing?
They're
Getting ready.
guarding vigilantly.
They're guarding. They're vigilant. They're very vigilant. That's your vigilant stance.
Losing Sentinel seems weird. 6 is definitely, or seems beefy. For 5. I mean, like, seems fine, but it losing value seems really, really weird.
Yeah, because it's not like getting to do that Sentinel thing or that guard thing where it's like you're just tanking your opponent's entire board.
Yeah,
I mean, you might be able to. I mean, the only thing if you're doing shields, you can throw shields on it, but that won't last long.
I mean, that forces it 2 attacks into it, right? The 1 to ping the shields, 2 to put damage. I mean, it could be good, but like, if you play this and then they just like attack Mahdi into you or something and reset something, then it's just like, all right, this did, this did nothing, nothing of value for me. So,
I mean, it's still there on the field.
Yeah, but I guess,
and I feel like 4 attack is pretty decent.
Yeah, I guess we would have to like sit down and look through like what some of the 5 costs for double, whatever double symbols, because it's a blue hero as well. How does 4/6 stack up to other 5 costs? Yeah, like on face value, I'd be like, oh, 4/6 seems fine, but there could just be other better 5 drops in that color combination, or even just in hero, or just in blue. But yeah. Next up, we got Chewbacca, Loyal Companion. He is a 5-cost ground unit. He is yellow hero, 3 attack, 6 health. He's an underworld Wookiee, so not a rebel, and he has Sentinel. And when this unit is attacked, ready him. I like this. I like this a lot.
I mean, he's not as derpy as the yellow one.
Yeah.
No. And honestly, these 2 Chewbaccas are probably better than any Chewbacca we've ever gotten in Destiny. Just going to throw that out there.
Chewbacca in the LCG was really good because he dealt the amount of damage that you, like, he literally like reflected damage back at you and like doubled it or something silly.
The best part about Chewbacca in Destiny was his rifle. Not even his bowcaster.
I like the other one more.
The
one we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah. I mean, I still think this one's really good. You can have both in play, too. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think it's really good, especially if you can get, like, some shield shenanigans onto him. I don't know how available shields are going to be. I know Luke can give them out a little bit more freely compared to Chewie, as we've seen a little bit. But, if he's got shields on him and he's got Sentinel, they'll be forced to attack into him, and he can ready and do all these other things. So, I kind of like it. 5 costs has less attack than the other unit we just talked about, but I think having Sentinel full time and readying multiple times potentially is really good.
I like them.
Fair.
Sounds good to me.
Next up, we got the ATSD, which is just a villain card. It's a ground unit, 6 cost. It has 6 damage, 7 health. It's an Imperial, it's a vehicle, and it's a walker, and it has Overwhelm.
I like it.
Did we lose Scott?
Seems strong.
Yeah, we lost his picture.
You lost
I
my
guess his
picture.
voice.
Someone's knocking at my door, so I gotta go, deal with
Okay.
that.
All right, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I mean 6/7 Overwhelm. I think makes this viable. I think that was sometimes issues I've seen in like other card games, like big drops who are just like stat sticks. They can kind of be hard to like get value out of them because, if you have just like a 1/1 Sentinel on the board and this ATSD is forced to attack into that with no Overwhelm, then you're going to be pretty frustrated in that. But
Yep.
it having Overwhelm makes it valuable, and it can also pick and choose its trades and still get damage into the base, which is nice.
I'm
Yeah,
running it.
I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I like it a lot.
currently it's, again, limited card pool, but if you're looking to get up to 6 resources, I think this hits, when you hit that 6 resource curve, this is a pretty good card to drop. Unless you cry like Jeremy when it gets waylaid.
I keep thinking like, there's no way that's inkable, and then I'm like, oh wait, we don't have that problem here.
Yeah. Which is also why you don't have to reveal in this game. You just put it down.
Yeah.
Lurkani have to reveal because not every card can be put down.
I like this card a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's super.
It's better
strong.
than the other
Overwhelm
ATSD.
makes it-
Destiny.
Remember that?
Most
Oh,
things
this-
probably will be because there's like
Yeah.
more of them and like you
Right.
play more things, I guess. But
Yeah, I can't wait to flood the board. Honestly, I think that's my strategy. Just go wide with everything, except for this.
you can be playing Leia.
Maybe.
um,
Maybe.
All right, next we got a 5-cost hero unit ground snow speeder. It is a 3 damage, 6 health rebel vehicle speeder. It has ambush, and it says on attack, exhaust an enemy vehicle ground unit. Screw your ATSD, bro.
I hate this card. ATSD sucks now.
But like this,
I take it right back.
this is actually like it having ambush. If it didn't have ambush, I would be like, this card's okay. But the fact that if you drop an ATSD and then we all pass, we go to next turn, it's ready up, and I have initiative, and I have a snow speeder in my hand, I could literally play it, ambush, attack, exhaust your thing, and attack into whatever else was there.
Seems
So,
pretty good.
Ouch.
so I do like snow speeder, pretty decent amount right now.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Well, we still have to build decks and see that stuff out, but this seems like it could be worth including, especially if the meta goes to a point where there's really good vehicles in ground. So that could also dictate the playability of this card.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Next is the best artwork in the game. And this is Chewbacca. He is our leader. His title's Walking Carpet. He is a blue hero. His action is exhaust him, play a unit that costs 3 or less from your hand, paying its cost. It gains Sentinel for this phase. And then his epic action is if you control 7 or more resources, deploy this leader. And when he's deployed, he's a ground unit, as all have been. He is a 2 attack, 9 health, underworld Wookiee, has Sentinel, and he has grit. So he gets +1 for each damage on him.
Love this card.
In the vacuum of the world that we see things in right now in this 50 card pool, I think Chewbacca is the best leader.
I would be tempted to play hero with Chewbacca.
I need a playmat of him, by the way, too. And sleeves. And like a onesie.
Oh, this bowcaster looks good.
Yeah.
The rest of him, I don't know.
He
I don't
just
know what
looks
he's
like
doing.
he got hit with a frying pan.
Yeah, he mad.
The fat.
Chewbacca's
the
mad.
flat
He looks
face.
like
His arms look so weird, too.
in Family Guy when they like break Brian's nose and it just looks like a sideways the whole time. That's exactly what this looks like to me.
Yeah.
I like the card though. I do agree. I think he's really good.
9 health, that's a lot.
9 health. Yeah, and I mean,
So
feasibly,
you can
depending
go
on
all the
what
way up
goes.
to 10 damage.
Yeah, I was gonna say he got, that's threading the needle pretty close, but I mean realistically, I think you could get 7 damage from him realistically. And he's at that same resource curve as Vader in terms of epic actions.
Yep.
So yeah, I like him a lot. He's currently, if I had to pick, I would go with him, and it is actually kind of nice that you could just test him right now. You just swap Luke out because they're the same color combination, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's Chewie. We got 2 Chewies already. Next is 1 cost unit ground, 2/1B surgical droid. It is a droid, 1 attack, 3 health. On attack, you may heal 2 damage from another unit. There you go. Pair him with Chewie. You know, you get some attacks in, you heal a little bit. Just keep going.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's something that your opponent's gonna have to remove because it's on attack, so they can't just like ignore it.
Yep.
And this you could probably work with the Vigilant Honor Guard too to heal it back up so it can go back to Sentinel.
Yep. There you go.
It's locked and thinking.
Thinking.
This man will never get beat by Ray 1 ever.
Oh my
again.
god.
Dude, Ray
This
One's
man cook.
screwed.
Next, we have a blue 4-cost system patrol craft. It is a space unit. 3 attack, 4 health. Vehicle fighter, has Sentinel. Seems good for a space Sentinel, but worse than the values we've seen so far for ground units. So, all adding up.
Hey, it depends if you need a space sentinel.
Yep.
If your opponent's not really playing much in the space, you don't necessarily want to drop something that's like, got the sentinel stat line.
Yep. Yeah, you don't want to sacrifice stats for Sentinel when you don't really.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen this ship before? I don't know if I've ever seen this ship.
I'd have to look at it a little closer. Let me see if I'm gonna bring it up on my own screen to see if I can actually tell what it is.
Put your face.
Solar speeder from Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet. That's funny. All right, let's scroll up, and then we got our last 3 here. One's TIE Advanced, and that is a 4-cost villain unit space. 3 attack, 2 health, Imperial vehicle fighter, and when played, give 2 experience tokens to another friendly Imperial unit. I actually quite like this.
I mean, it's pretty easily removed, but you're never getting less than 2 value from it unless you're playing it without another Imperial unit on the table.
Yeah, so I mean, there's even, just giving 2 stats to some of your leaders could be really good.
Yep, and it's another one of those there's no restriction on this as far as it's got to be a space unit, right?
Nope.
Just
Give 2 experience tokens to
So
another
it's one of those
Imperial.
things where you can establish a presence in space while also bolstering your presence on the ground. So it's kind of got some
Yep.
cross utilization.
Next up, we have the GOAT, Han Solo, Reluctant Hero, 7-cost
the GOAT?
ground unit. He is a hero yellow. He's a 6 damage, 6 health underworld. He has ambush, and he says while attacking, this unit deals combat damage before the defender.
The goat's the next one.
I wish his art was I prefer my Han Solo to be more calm, cool, collected, and suave, not snarling like he's Chewbacca.
Well, this is probably the scene where he's running down the hallway just yelling.
Yeah, it
Kinda
is
scary.
the scene where he's running down the hallway.
yeah.
But, that didn't work out too well for him, right?
No,
he
it's
ran
not.
into 10 more
Yeah,
stormtroopers.
Sort of running the other way.
He's clearly shooting first, but I don't think he actually hit anything in that instance. He wasn't even really shooting in that instance.
Yeah.
Look at that V-neck though.
That's a deep V, dude.
It's a deep
It's
V-neck,
a
dude.
deep V.
Yeah, I mean, it seems good.
Yeah.
Ambush, come in, clear the board, and then he also doesn't take any damage. So.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Ambush. Sometimes you're just a suicide mission, but he's coming in and he can wipe out a pretty big he can wipe out some pretty big stuff and just be good to go.
One-shot Palpatine, dude. Get him out.
Yeah, just boom. Luckily, Palpatine has an on-play effect. So
you're still getting
cards like Han do make some of the higher cost cards, especially ones that are 6 health or less. They make them less attractive plays if they don't also have an on-play effect, because you have to think between Han or any other removal they have that really hits those characters that are high cost without immediate benefit.
Yeah.
He's good though.
He is quite good.
Pretty good.
He doesn't blow
Just
up
the
the
goat.
ATSD, does he? No, he's one
I
short.
don't think so.
One short.
He's not the goat. He's not him.
Hey, he can one-shot the goat, though. Which, next up,
Well, unless. Go ahead.
we got Emperor Palpatine, Master of the Dark Side, 8-cost ground unit, red villain, 6 attack, 6 health, Force, Imperial, Sith, and Official. He's got 4 titles, tags, whatever. On him. He has Overwhelm, and he says, when played, deal 6 damage divided as you choose among enemy units.
Big.
So you play Han Solo turn 7. I play Palpatine turn 8, and then get rid of Han Solo.
Well, no, I was saying
Easy.
I would hold. You're probably not just gonna play Han on 7 unless he is deleting something pretty big.
Yeah, at that point, Han's already deleted something.
Han's getting value.
I clean up the messes. It's fine. It's all right.
Now, with Palpatine, you could, if you can play something that bounces him to hand, so like you can play like a waylay, like you can just constantly just be like, and drop him again to deal 6 as you wish. Drop him again to deal 6 as you wish. That's a lot of like resources, but in the end game, sometimes you don't have anything to spend with your resources anyway.
Yeah.
I wrote a 1 of waylay and spend more just to bring him back and do 6.
Plus, you heal. Yeah, you get to heal your unit essentially that way.
Yeah.
That's worth it.
Yeah, and you're also not as upset if Palpatine gets waylaid compared to your ATSD.
Yeah, it's like it kind of gives them protection against that. 'Cause, does your opponent really want to eat another 6 damage divided amongst their units? Because that's big. The fact that you get to control exactly where it goes.
That's a big
Yeah,
board
it's not.
trade.
Yeah, it's not like it's like Destiny where it's indirect and that person puts it wherever. The fact that you can pick the 6 is, I think, really
Pretty
really
great.
powerful.
Yeah, you can just set all your math up nicely.
Yep, and he's got overwhelm too,
nah.
so you can even if you get 1 low with that thing, he can, when he does ready eventually, he can finish.
Yeah,
it.
you can just leave something on 1 and then rip through them.
And he works with Mahdi, he works with Force Choke, so some things there he has synergy with as well.
That's why
He's
he's
an
the goat.
official. He works with his guards.
Yep.
It's a lot of keywords.
Yep.
I'm running that all day.
Yep. I mean,
All day.
an 8-drop. I hope 8-drop would have a pretty decent effect like that.
Yeah, like I definitely think like there is something to be said about having a lot of keywords in this game so far, because we're seeing so many cards with like tribal keyword representations. So being Force, Imperial, Sith, Official, that's got a lot of like, there's a lot of cards that you can like benefit from there. Whereas if you go back to like Han, he's only Underworld.
That's even some of the drawback, like with both Chewie units too. Neither of them are rebels.
Yeah, neither
So-
of them are rebels.
So like the lieutenant stuff, that doesn't actually work.
Mhm.
And I believe so. The TIE Advance gives experience tokens to an Imperial unit. I believe there is a one rebel unit that does that as well.
The X-wing, the wing
It's one of
leader.
them. Yeah. That was like the first one spoiled, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all
Yeah,
the
to a
first
rebel
cards.
unit. So like even that TIE Advanced or whatever we just looked at, that can buff up Palpatine, and he has Overwhelm, so it's worth it too. So, all right, we're officially caught up on all 54 cards.
Woo!
Breezing through that. Last tidbit question. We're at an hour 28, so we don't have to spend too long on this because we got a few questions from Discord as well. But the one question I wanted to ask was, Lorcana, pretty much just before GenCon, just before people started opening up the boxes, they published an article and said that there is a 6th rarity, and it is 2 legendaries, I believe, from each color. So there's a total of 12 of these cards that are pretty much full arts, alternative arts of these legendary cards that aren't guaranteed in every box, but they're now something to chase after. I just am curious on your guys' thoughts if SWU did something like... Oh, and before we even get into that, shout out to swudb.com for providing all the images, and that's where I scrolled through and everything like that. So
Would he be?
shout out to SWUDB for hosting
Would he
that.
be?
But yeah, for the alternative art question, is that something that you think would be cool to have? Is that a little too much? Because we're seeing now, I think the Lorcana Disney effect would be more than Star Wars would be, but some of these cards are going for $1,500, $2,000 already. And even if Unlimited did the exact same thing, I don't think it would get to that point. But just curious on your guys' thoughts. Is is that something that the game should add, should have, should stay away from exclusivity like that?
I mean, what's the downside? Because it's not like it's going to be the only version of a card.
Correct. All of those you
So-
can just naturally pull as legendaries or whatever the rare.
Yeah, you can have a card in there that's like 1 in 20,000 if, whatever.
I just think they're neat.
Yep.
They're actually. I think I was surprised because I saw the enchanted Lorcana cards, and they're cool, but I'm not like thirsting over them. Like I thought I would. Like
that's the
spot
big
loss in
downside
Destiny. I was
of-
in Destiny. Spot loss is hard. And
That's
this
a big
doesn't
downside of having those like big time chase cards. Like, yeah, there's never like a downside if there's not like that's not the only rarity. But if they're not cool looking, then it kind of just is
It
weird.
doesn't matter.
They're cool looking. I don't need them. I don't want like.
We also could get our spot losses by playing. I think that kind of
Right.
helped too.
Right. I was more into spot losses because I was at the events anyway. I was playing. I enjoyed getting like my tickets or whatever, and I
Brian, you also
something I
enjoy
actually
opening
play at.
packs, so
yeah, I know, and that's why I was super surprised that like I'm not into the Lorcana Enchanteds. 'Cause
How
I do
many
know.
boxes did you open in your car on the way back from Connecticut there, Jack?
Dude, I couldn't because he bought a box, sold everything back, and then bought like 2 more boxes, and then like opened it and then like sold it back. And I don't think he made any money. He just like
No.
he just like evened out or even lost money per box he bought.
Yep, he just wanted to open stuff.
Listen, I've matured
Have
since
you?
then. No,
We-
no, but I was surprised because I'm not denying that they're not cool looking because they are. I think the enchanted cards look good. I don't care. I don't know why. I don't know why
Wow.
that is.
Maybe he has matured.
No, I don't think it's that.
I don't know. Maybe you're along the same lines as me, Brian, but I value cards that I can like get or win more than I can open from
Yeah.
packs. Like even when we played Fab, like I don't know, like I just didn't care about any foils at all. But some of the stuff, like I cared about in a sense, like I could then sell this and then buy the non-foil one for cheaper. Like I cared
Yeah.
about in that sense. But as for having it, even like Destiny, I liked getting them from events, but I don't know. There's just not many open the pack, get a promo that I have cared about so far. But my scope is very, very limited. I don't
Well-
have many CCGs under my belt.
The thing about Fab was when you. I think the only things I really cared about having in foil were like legendaries anyway, which were already foil. I mean, they're not anymore now, right, Scott? I think
They're
changing that.
they're either cold foil or rainbow foil.
Right. So
So like the rainbow foil is the lower rarity of the two.
I never got a cold foil legendary because I wasn't into the first edition kind of stuff. That's that way out.
So now there is no more like first edition.
Right.
There's
yeah.
in the same release you'll have like a legendary, you can pull it in cold foil, you can pull it in rainbow foil.
That's fine. Like I don't. But the
And then
point
there's
is-
some that are like full art cold foil.
But the point is that those equipment stayed out like the whole game until you.
Yes.
So like for random cards that I was like I don't really care about the foil.
Yeah.
It's cool to have, but like it's not necessary.
In a lot of cases it's the downside is foiling treatment in most card games has a little bit of like a pringling effect. So there has been issues of people like getting DQ'd in tournaments for marked cards because they have like only this card foil in their deck, and you can cut right to it, and it's like whether they intended that or not. If someone can look at your deck and be like, "There's a certain card," it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was like the leaders, I'd probably, if it was only leaders, I'd be more into it potentially.
Mhm.
But if it's just any card, then probably not so much. But also,
Bases too would be cool.
yeah, or bases, yeah, anything that's on like you guys were saying, like anything that's on there at all times would be neat. But I don't think I would need it. It would just be a cool little extra thing to get. Open it up. Oh, cool, I get it. I get this. So
I
it'd
would
be
sell
interesting.
it.
Although the only thing that would stink is if you were looking
Or
for
a
one
Scott
specific card and one of your cards was this thing you already had, like a special foil thing you already had, but you're like, I don't want that. I wanted one that I actually could use. So
You just sell it and then get the one that you want.
yeah,
Just have Scott
true.
sell it.
True.
Scott's the master.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like there's a decent. I don't know about bases, but I was just looking at the numbers on the thing. So Krennic is 1 out of 252. then you go to Chewbacca. Chewbacca is 3 of 252. So we know 1, 2 are villain blue, I would guess, is how it's going to be sorted. So I guess we're going to potentially get 2 of each color of each faction. So 2 blue villains, 2 hero villains. Although, what is... Oh, Chewie's 3, Lucas 5. So we got another blue hero coming in. So, and the highest it goes up to is what we have it's with Vader, and he's a 10. So we don't fully know how it goes, but
Vader is a 10.
A 10. Yeah, he's actually.
You're a 10 in my mind.
But yeah, even in Destiny, I didn't care as much for the cards in the deck. Although I did like some of the more permanent ones, which I feel like like a Destiny upgrade or support was more permanent than what we'll have with Unlimited, just by the nature of the game.
Everything in Unlimited will die.
Yeah. Whereas, Destiny, if you played something, it was, especially if it's a redeploy or whatever, that's staying down the whole game pretty much. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a way to do it, but I think it will depend. If it's all leaders and stuff and bases, I think that could be pretty cool, and maybe some like key upgrades. But if it's like, just if they come out of the gate and a lot of the, I don't know, rare promo stuff is like stuff like Waylay or Force Choke, it's not as exciting for me, even though I will probably still want those.
Hey, now people need 3 of them, so make some monies.
All right, we will. Any other thoughts about anything we talked about? If not, we'll hop into Discord questions.
Discord questions.
Cool. First one is, when are games on TTS? And this is from Mended. There's a mod already out there. Like I said, his dudeness is keeping that pretty much up to date. I think it's already got Palp on there. But I guess side note, should I be saying this? Should I not be saying this? I don't know. But we were currently asked not to do TTS videos for the time being. There is talks of FFG potentially changing that, but that is above the person that has said that. So, hopefully they'll go that route, especially if they just like lift that until release, because really am I going to print cards every single time a new card comes out for the next 200 cards or whatever? So, having stuff on TTS would be a great way for us to promote the game without it being all this extra work of having to print cards and do things in person. But obviously we were this way before. We would prefer to do in-person recordings anyways, but just with the actual cards.
Flockton doesn't know how to work, TTS. Brian doesn't know how to work a computer.
I know how to work TTS. I just didn't like in Destiny rolling the dice. That was just annoying.
Well, you don't have to do that now, so maybe you'll.
I know.
All right, maybe you're fine then.
Because it was just like the dice was annoying, worrying about the dice, picking them up, and making sure it's right. It was just, it annoyed me. So I'd rather just. Also, I always did better rolling it out of my hand. Like I don't know why. Just a little luck and just throw it down. Got 2-2. So
you're cheating.
So you're a cheater, yeah. That's...
I'm not a cheater. It's just
Confirmed.
I'm not good at hitting R. Like just hitting R a bunch of times didn't really do anything.
What will Hoojin say?
Check the VODs. But yeah, so potential stuff for that in the future, but we'll kind of see, because I would like to play games. Maybe if we just print out the demo decks and just play them, or I believe there's a starter stream coming up. I know there's.
I got a card slicer.
2 more streams coming up. Yeah.
Make some proxies.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that on our end. We'll kind of see what the response is from FFG and where that's at. But I hope they lighten the stance on that. The second one, a little bit tougher, because I feel like I almost would need a list. And that last question was from Mended. This one is from Jedi Geek Girl from iRebel. It says, not counting Afra, who do you predict will be the first canon book/comic exclusive character to be a leader in Star Wars Unlimited? Asking for a different pick from each of us.
Leader makes it so difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the exclusive makes it even more difficult, because I wanted to say Quinlan Voss, but he's technically in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
At least an episode or 2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a whole I think even 2 or 3 times
with Obi-Wan.
He's with one with Obi-Wan, and then he's I think another one at some point. Gosh.
Not counting Afra.
Because Afra's like the easy.
Mr. Bones.
Yeah.
As a leader.
That's
Absolutely.
yeah.
So does I did not count for this because it's not book comic.
Is she in any of them? I mean, I know she's from Battlefront.
She's
but did she make her
from
way?
Battlefront.
Did she make her way? Maybe we'll count it. We'll say. Sure.
Does she have books?
That's why I have no
Does she
idea.
have- She
I
had
don't know
a-
if there was book
she
or
had a- I
comics.
think she had a book on that though. After that was out.
She might.
So
have,
then I didn't count for me.
Yeah.
Because they've already done it before, so I can see them doing it again.
Battlefront 2 Inferno Squad is a book.
Okay.
That counts.
Hey yo, I'm smarter than all of y'all.
Facts.
No, you just have an
Big
obsession.
facts. You count. It's counters.
I feel like
Sounds
everyone
like
that I'm gonna
one.
say is all like old legend characters,
Yeah.
like Mara Jade. And that's not gonna happen.
Because didn't they do Bane too? For Star Wars Destiny 2, so you can do Bane's one.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
could be
really,
that.
like it's,
They've done
I
it
mean,
once.
like,
They can do it again.
Star Killer.
like,
Yeah.
I
My
don't think
mind keeps
that's gonna
going to Cal Kestis, but yeah, I know that's a video game as well.
Yeah.
And maybe he
And
is in a
Black-
comic or something now, but I have no idea.
Black Kirsten was, in a comic, but now he's in a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't read.
I'll say we're not. And when I did do the I have to do that again. I have to get that Marvel Unlimited subscription again and just binge it. I haven't done that in some time, but yeah. So we got Iden Versio. We said like Cal Kestis, Mara Jade. I know she's not canon, right?
Yeah, she ain't gonna. That is never gonna get approved.
Yeah.
I can wish though. I can.
What was the
I'll go
villain
with
from
000.
Because wasn't there also a villain that was in the Star Wars MMORPG? What was that one villain that like
Raven.
Raven? Yeah, is that one? Is that
I mean,
canon?
Darth Revan was in Knights of the Old Republic first before the MMORPG, but yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if
That's
he was
not like-
mentioned even in any of the canon stuff. I don't know. I don't think he's had anything about him, but it wouldn't surprise me if there could be mentions of him or something.
Mm-hmm.
000. That's my vote. And what's the other one? Is it BT?
Darth Crate.
BT.
I keep wanting to say BD1. It's not BD1. That's Cal Kestis. BT, right?
Gosh, dude, we're struggling tonight.
This is a cruel question.
BT1. Yeah, it was BT1.
Yeah, BT1.
BT.
All right. Next up, we got a question from Dark Jar Jar. Of the leaders and bases shown so far, what is your way too early prediction for what deck wins the first major tournament? I'm going to go with Chewy and Administrator's Tower. So I got Hero, Blue, and Yellow.
I'm gonna go with Vader and Catacombs of Kadera.
Wait, what?
Red.
What? There's no double red card.
No. Wait, hold
But
on.
that's his prediction.
There's
my
going
prediction.
to be a double red card. That is insane.
Dude, it's gonna be so good. It's
Don't
gonna
you
be so
don't you
good.
like need green for like Mahdi? Or no, is he
yeah.
just black?
No,
I'm
I think
thinking
he's
of
Marty's black.
Oh,
yeah,
it's black.
the
I'm gonna go with Darth Vader and the command center just because you get access to like the guards and the super laser
super
ramp
laser, yeah.
guy.
No, he's mono red all day.
You can't even do that.
yeah, you gotta have at least two because the
All right, fine.
no
Vader
base.
in the swamp.
Just swamp.
The swamp.
Okay.
I'm gonna
telling
go
you,
with
though, Jedha's
Yeah, you could run Palpatine and Yoda.
I'm gonna go with Palpatine in the lounge with the wrench.
Oh, perfect.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Palpatine's
He's
got
just a
this.
unit, right?
Yeah.
So far.
Welcome to Flock.
So far.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
We
right.
only,
I like
we only have the
Palpatine.
5 leaders so far. I'm really interested in Leia. I really do like her, but
Yeah, it's just tough because there's
there's
not
no
that many
green.
there's not that many green cards that have been spoiled, and the ones that have been spoiled really don't
They're
work
all
with her.
Well, yeah, they're all. I'm even. There's literally no green hero, or even neutral green. if the database is fully up to date, which I believe it is, the only green cards we have are the 3:
Yeah,
Royal
they're-
Guard, the Technician, and Grand Moff
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tarkin.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Banana Crapshoot asked, did you find an LGS for SWU yet? No. I mean, I mentioned whenever last time I was there to somebody if they were going to have it, and they're like, yeah, I mean, we'll probably sell it. And
I
that
mean,
sounds
Top
about
Deck
right for
can
Top
run.
Deck.
They can run like events any day of the week because they have so much space.
Yep.
And if there's an app that makes it so it's easy for them to run, like it doesn't really require like anything from them.
Yep.
I imagine like Red Caps would easily host things and stuff like that. They're pretty agreeable.
Yeah. In my mind was Top Deck probably because they just have so much space and money to get product if people are buying product. Red Caps, and then I want to say Comic Book Store, but they just feel like a mess even. Like I even just called them about Lorcana, and they're like, yeah, we're having an
We have
event,
no
but like we
idea.
have no idea how much product we're getting. I'm like,
Yeah, that's kind of sometimes their thing. Like they'll open event registration on like the Monday before it, and it's on a Wednesday, and the only way you can like register for the event is to like physically be there or call in, and there's one phone line.
Yep.
So
yeah, I got hopes that we'll have somewhere. Hopefully it is somewhere that cares to at least maintain the community at least. I don't expect Top Deck to really
I think with
but-
Top Deck having as much space as they have, like they just they're like occasionally not being too into something isn't a problem anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're getting, reduced to like one table because they don't care. It's
Yeah.
like, well, there's there's almost unlimited space.
Unlimited, you say?
Unlimited. There's unlimited space and there's unlimited
Woo!
space.
Yeah. At the very minimum, yeah, I feel like Top Deck will have it and host larger events, whether or not their weekly situation is fixed. Like,
How far is that from us now?
It's closer because we don't have to drive through like
Is it
Adamsfield and
closer?
stuff.
Oh.
It's like right off
Yeah.
295.
Nice.
Yeah,
Right
it's
along
easier to get to.
04.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, just be a matter of like, might have to start, looking at their schedule and seeing like what day, because obviously like Fridays is a no go because Friday Night Magic.
Lorcana is Sunday afternoons.
Flesh and Blood is Mondays, but they also run Magic events on Monday too. But like I said, they could have 4 events going at one time.
All right, yeah, I mean that's also hard for stores to care because there's literally no information about the game. Yeah, 2024
The
is
main
from their
thing.
perspective.
We're like a year off. Stores will come and go in a year's
Yeah.
time. Not a year, but maybe a year. I hope not a year.
Yeah.
I feel like it can't be a year. I feel like they've released too much information for it to be a year.
I legitimately thought. I mean, so again, March is still just a rumor of somebody talking to somebody at GenCon, so that still holds little weight. Like I wouldn't necessarily live and die by that.
Zero
but
weight.
I was expecting January, February was my expectation.
Well, because you were expecting it to. You thought maybe they would
Well-
just do like an American release.
Well, that was
and
my
say,
tinfoil. That was my tinfoil hat I had going. That was my
Yeah.
copium. My gas bill was high when I was saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just I don't know. There's a lot of hype around it. Like I know 50 of 250 isn't a crazy amount, but like that's a decent amount for us to potentially still be. Like
Over a year,
6-7 months
potentially.
away if it's
Mhm.
March. Yeah, over a year if it's September. Like I don't know. At some point, people just the hype dies down and they forget about it and don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they come out in September and we're still talking about Set 1 spoilers for Unlimited and Lorcana has their supply situation figured out and they're on Set 3, right? That's going to be hard to break into that momentum. So, I don't know. And not that
Yeah.
we're only
Golden
competing with
Mouse
Lorcana, but
podcast.
so. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Rebrand to the Golden Mouse.
The Golden Mouse, yeah. All right, we'll wrap up with our last question before we hit a 2-hour mark.
Oh, jeez.
But Wreck and Roll Brian said, "How do you convince Joe to play SWU?" And I'll just say, if there's somebody who is hesitant to play another FFG game, what's the in?
Trust process.
I don't think there's anything you can do till the game is out and the events
You
are
just
being held.
you just bring it
Right.
over his house. You just like ambush him with it.
too early for that yet, I think.
You just
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too early right now, but I'm saying when it exists, you just ambush it with it and just like mush his face
Yeah.
into it until he has to.
And Joe's like an absolute like maniac. Like I probably haven't hung out with Joe much since like he really got into Transformers, so it's like probably been like 5-6 years.
But the world, like went on pause for a little bit there,
Yeah. There's also the COVID pause, but the last thing I remember is just like him buying hundreds of Keyforge decks to get the best combination, and I'm just like, no wonder why you hate FFG. If I bought 100 Keyforge decks, I would probably hate FFG too. Not gonna lie. He'd open up a binder and he's like, "Do you want any of these? I don't like any of the combinations of these decks." I'm just like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, Joe's not a dabbler, so it's a matter of like you gotta get him to pull the pull the ripcord, and then it's all in.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, if there's people still hesitant, they're going to be hesitant until there's product and events, and I think that will be the thing. Because those are probably the two biggest complaints. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. You're dealing if people are hesitant, a lot of it's going to be on like the FFG history side, and no card that they preview because their game design was not necessarily like it was not necessarily like the big problem. Some of the balance issues may have been contributing, but like the game design wasn't the problem. So nothing you could show them from a game design standpoint is going to really sway them. It's going to be what day do they say it's coming out? Does it actually come out on that day?
Yeah. Do they actually do 3 sets a year? Is there actually a schedule for the regionals or whatever stuff? So I will say, and I won't necessarily say everything, but I was talking with D-House, and I assume they're going to talk about it on their podcast. So I don't want to like spoil anything of what they had prepped or their conversations with FFG staff, but
do it.
I would say do it. D-House and like Jay would not hold back at all if there's anything frustrated with FFG. That I don't think at any point in time they ever, especially Jay and Chris, would have ever held their tongues for stuff. But they went down and they were impressed by everything, by the conversations, by the things that were said, and those people, like I can already just picture Chris going on a cynical rant on YouTube. He posted like 10 Lorcana videos yesterday. After like tilt queuing.
in the rabbit hole, dude.
Yeah, but I feel like there are people who'd be straight up and honest with me. They're like, yeah, we went down and we talked to Jim and we talked to Xander, we talked to Jeremy, Aaron, and we were a little hesitant. If they were hesitant, they would say that. I don't think there are people that are just going to buy in the hype just to buy it, and they walked away all impressed with the conversations that they have. So I'm excited to see what they say on whenever they record this week on Unplayable. So be on the lookout for that too if you're interested to hear about their expectations or reactions to Unlimited.
It is, but it is just words.
Oh, yeah, it's all just words at this point, yeah. But the only reason I say that, is because they heard the words before, and they do feel like even just the way they're talking about it is different, and talking about how they're running the game, and some of the insight that they got on the background of the game, I guess. But yeah, I mean, we could talk about that once they release that and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I watch all their stuff.
Yeah, Unplayable.
Big fanboy.
They're great.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, we are at an hour 52.
Wow.
Lot to talk about with GenCon. If you haven't, follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. We have
not Twitter anymore, man. It's X.
On X.
The person from FFG watching this or listening to this is like, man, 2 hours just gone from my life.
No, they stopped.
And nothing happened. Oh, yeah, they've been going for a while. Say whatever we want now.
Yeah, on X, as we post our tweets there.
Our X's.
Our X's.
Our Zeets. What is it supposed to be now?
I have no idea. It's going to be Twitter forever. I don't have Twitter. It's the worst rebranding in the history of rebranding.
It's going to be Twitter until it dies.
Yeah. But anyways, on that website, on Facebook, YouTube, and then as we mentioned, we do like Discord questions and talk about that. We post spoilers. We post all our content in our Discord. So if you're interested in joining, check the description of the video or the podcast and just follow that link to join our Discord. Any other thoughts, gentlemen? Who knows when we'll record again until we get a steady stream of info. But I think this week we have another one? It's either this week or next week. We have another stream coming up very soon. But I don't know if it's one that matters.
We can Shatterpoint podcast once you guys stop ducking me.
True.
not talking nothing.
Dude, told you I'm waiting for Mace. He's gonna
They're right here.
bring me joy.
All right. I see you, Brian.
And there's my painting stuff right there.
Yep.
I still haven't gotten the Grievous box, so.
Yeah, you literally haven't asked it all.
It's at Jack's house.
Yeah,
I
they
haven't
have,
seen
have one
Jack in a
tomorrow.
while.
At no point
Well,
has Brian said, "Can I swing by and get it?" You were at my house on Friday after the wedding.
No, I wasn't. I didn't go in.
Yeah, but you've been like, "Hey,"
You were, feet away.
you were on my front lawn.
Yeah, I wasn't on the forefront of my mind after the wedding, champ.
Well,
Anyway, not important. Not important.
Okay, so we do have a stream coming up tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and it is an aspect preview. Get ready to unleash unlimited possibilities. Join game designers Josh Macy as they discuss game designers and Josh Macy, so I guess they don't know exactly what game designers or how many. And Josh, as they discuss the next deck building aspect from one of our newest games. Of course, they'll also be showing off some new cards. So, new spoilers tomorrow. Talking about the aspects. I don't know how much more they can expand on that, other than green is green, blue is blue.
Yeah, show us more cards. Show us more green cards.
Math
So-
is math.
We'll see what comes with
I
that.
hate math.
But then later, what is this stream? Gameplay preview. I don't think that is for this. See, yeah, it's a different game. But then there's the starter deck reveal and playthrough is what it is called, and that is on August 23rd at 2 p.m. So that is in 2 weeks. And so
Nice.
join game designers alongside Josh as well as they provide a first look at the starter decks for a certain upcoming game as well as use those decks to show off a bit of gameplay. So we'll see some starters, what the starters will be, and some gameplay. But yeah,
I'm excited.
any other thoughts, gentlemen?
Just if anyone listening to this is in Germany and wants to be our interpreter,
Bilingual.
I know-
We're going to be globally
I
releasing.
know,
in
I know
all
very
languages.
basic German, so
If you're free September 30th to October 8th or 7th, let us know.
just for the event, probably.
The whole time.
If
You gotta
they're
come with us
going
the
to
whole
if
time.
they're-
You have to stay
We're
with
on
them.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
They have to get the authentic Golden Dice experiment where Brian gets super drunk
Oh God.
and then
You can stop there.
I was
Just
more
stop
so
there.
going to go with the story how you guys locked Eldis out of the room.
No, you can stop there. That's fine. We don't have to. It's.
Or that walkway in Florida.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I was doing the Dune scream the whole way from like the whole 2 miles
I'm crowning.
from the venue to our. Oh, dude, I'm so bad. It was
Yeah,
so
I was
bad.
more so referring to you two locking Eldis out.
Yeah, that was a time.
All right,
I'm
y'all.
so excited for events, man.
All right, we will catch you guys next time. Appreciate everybody listening. Follow us, leave a review, all those things, and
You
we will
poor
see you
so-and-sos.
next time.